Hey all, I'm KG and this is Claude, our very own Captain of the Guard, occasional voice of reason, and good old Hecklebear.
Hey there, I just tell it how it is. So, what's today's upload?
Well, today it's Shocked, Shocker and Shocking, where we review the stories and posts that most of us have found alarming, to say the least.
Oh goody. Now I have a feeling that I know a couple of ex-royals that may make this week's lineup. Am I right?
You are, but first let me tell you a story that shocked loads of people. It is a couple of weeks old, but I've only just found it. I don't know how I missed it, but it's about the monarch King Charles. I think you'll like it, Claude.
I'm all ears.
Royal fans have been shocked to learn that the king is related to Dracula.
Come again?
Yes, you heard that right. Dracula, or Vlad III, better known as Vlad the Impaler, the illegitimate son of Vlad Dracula II, and is indeed an ancestor of King Charles.
So Dracula is real?
No, but Vlad, the 15th century Romanian warlord he was based on, certainly was.
Okay, so he didn't suck the blood of mortals?
Well, technically no, but he decapitated, boiled and buried his victims alive. Oh, and he skewered thousands of men, women and children with wooden stakes. While Dracula may be a fictional character, the man he was based on was all too bloodthirsty. Vlad was known as a monster with a thirst for human blood, so I think you would have had a less painful death if he had just nibbled your neck.
Does he have anything in common with King Charles?
Well, he was actually revered by the people of Romania and provided stability to them, so there's that.
Okay. So both well-liked by the people and both have provided stability for their nations.
Yeah.
Just to be sure, though, we don't know of any live burials in the Tower of London, do we?
No, and that's despite a bit of treachery by a few members of his family.
Okay, just checking.
Although I'm sure some people would really like some of these punishments to come back. I don't know, what do you think, everybody? Lock some certain ex-members of the family in the tower? Maybe take them down to the torture chamber, the rack, put them in the dungeon? Anyway, back to Vlad. Charles is his great-grandson, 16 times removed through Queen Mary. He also acknowledged the connection himself and is really fond of the country, purchasing a farmhouse in the mountains of Transylvania in 2006.
Better than some creepy-ass castle, I guess.
Oh, could you imagine?
The key thing I think about Romania, and Transylvania in particular, is that there's so much we can learn from, it seems to me. It is the last corner of Europe where you see true sustainability and complete resilience and the maintenance of entire ecosystems for the benefit of mankind, and also for nature.
I think he has found the connection quite humorous himself, as he has mentioned having a bit of a stake in the country when he carried out some charity work there.
Well, I won't look at him the same for a while now.
Well, folks, it puts that recent portrait into perspective, doesn't it?
Oh, lordy.
This revelation has certainly given a fresh perspective on the official portrait, with fellow social media users sharing their shock also. Just pop some garlic under your cap, Claude, if you're worried next time you're on duty.
I might just take my holiday leave.
On that note, let's jump to our next story, and this is a what a shocker. But I have to say, it's laced with sarcasm.
As in, you're not shocked?
Definitely not, and I don't think any of the world's media or the public are either. So Prince Harry has been accused of deliberately destroying potential evidence in his High Court illegal information gathering claim against the publisher of the Sun newspaper, who are News Group, newspapers, or more commonly known, NGN. The accusation is so serious that the judge has ordered Harry to explain himself.
Ah, he lies to the court then, just as his wife did before.
Yes, which, while although a shocker, I think many are not surprised, as his wife had previously told the court that she had not had any influence or contact with the author of a biography, when in fact she had. She then had to apologise to the court.
So, had it not come out, then the world would have just swallowed her lies?
Yes, Claude. Shocker, I know. Well, her husband now finds himself in a similar position, although this is far more serious. Anthony Hudson, KC for NGN, suggested to the court that Harry deliberately destroyed all messages sent between Harry and his ghostwriter for his memoir Spare. Mr Justice Fancourt said that the lack of documentation handed over so far by the Duke's legal team gave him cause for concern, and that he'd seen troubling evidence that a large number of potentially relevant documents between the Duke and J.R. Moehringer were destroyed well after his claim was underway.
And that's a big no-no, isn't it?
Yes, part of the trial process is disclosure, so all the facts are available to the court so that a fair trial can take place and judgment can be made on all the evidence pertaining to the issue that the claimant is bringing. It is irrelevant whether it hinders or supports either party in the case, and they must retain this evidence.
So what is Harry's response?
Well, his attorney, David Sherborne, said in court papers that NGN's approach to the disclosure exercise was both sluggish and tactical, and that they should have sought the documents sooner. But instead, their approach undermines the deliberately sensational assertion that Harry had not properly carried out the disclosure exercise.
Has he?
According to Sherborne, Harry had conducted extensive searches, even going above and beyond his obligations.
What? Wait, hold on. Isn't it meant to be the legal team who do this?
Yes, it is. They state that they searched 35,000 communications at a cost of £50,000 and found nothing of relevance, but it has been revealed that Harry himself has carried out most of the searches made in relation to this case and not his legal team.
Oh my.
You are not alone in your disbelief there, Claude, as the judge also expressed disbelief that the searches for potential evidence of prior knowledge of unlawful information gathering has been dealt with by the Duke himself over in California.
I need to know. How did Harry's legal team respond?
His solicitor's witness statement claims that Harry is an old hand at dealing with disclosure due to his experience in his phone hacking claim against Mirror Group newspapers. As expected, Mr. Justice Fancourt said that this wasn't appropriate in a case of this nature. He went on to say that Harry's own legal team don't appear to grapple with the knowledge issue in this case, so he wouldn't be surprised if Harry didn't either.
Ooh, burn!
There's more, Claude.
Oh, lordy.
The judge also revealed that Harry had been given a large group of documents in 2020 from the royal household and that his own legal team were wholly unaware of them until just this month.
So, the dab hand at disclosure chose not to disclose?
It appears that way, according to the judge. However, this isn't the only issue.
There's more?
Yes, the court had been told that there were 2 encrypted hard drives that were previously said to no longer exist. However, Harry's solicitor informed the court just a couple of days ago that they do and have been found.
So again hindering discovery?
Yes, or at the very least the obstacle course that NGN's legal team have told the court Harry and his team are putting in the way of fair and transparent discovery. Harry's solicitors have said that the hard drives just contain office documents from Harry's time as a working royal and were therefore unlikely to be of relevance anyway. The judge did agree that if this was the case, then they may not be relevant to the current case, but he did still order Harry's legal team to carry out a search of Harry's laptop, texts and WhatsApp messages to look at exchanges from 2005 until early 2023.
And what about the deleted communications with the ghostwriter?
David Sherborne said that they were deleted because they contained highly sensitive information pertaining to the royal family. Harry had to delete them, and this is why he also chose to use the messaging service Signal, as you can delete your messages and their history entirely.
So what are the chances of it being recovered?
It's unclear at present, which is why the judge has ordered the witness statement from Harry. However, all his Signal messages from 2005 up until last year that aren't deleted are included in the judge's order, so if any mention of the hacking or information relevant to the case has been communicated to a different recipient, then it should be shared as part of the discovery process.
So why are communications between Harry and Mr. Mollringer important to his claim against the news group?
Because their communications could reveal that Harry could have known he had a potential case against the paper before the legal 6-year time limit. His case over illegal information gathering covers a time period from the early 1990s into the early 2000s. The Sun continues to claim that Harry's claim is therefore time-barred. Harry filed stating that the Sun had concealed evidence, making it impossible for him to sue the news group sooner. Therefore, if there is evidence within the communications between Prince Harry and his ghostwriter that show Harry was aware of his potential to bring the case sooner, then the news group can seek for the case to be thrown out, which is why it is concerning to both the defendant and the judge why such potentially important documents relating to this case have been destroyed.
Hence the judge wanting a witness statement off Harry and not justification for his actions by his legal team.
Yes, Harry has been ordered to personally complete a witness statement so that the judge can review Harry's reasoning and potentially whether he acted fairly and within the rules of the court. His statement must include what, if any, attempts Harry has made to recover the destroyed documents. As the judge is concerned that it is not transparently clear what happened, he wants to know from Harry directly how, when and why he destroyed them. It's then likely that a hearing will take place whereby the judge will address Harry's witness statement.
So, a quick apology and an "I forgot this was evidence" statement may not cut it this time?
Possibly not. Destroying evidence is really serious in any court case. It is unfair and can impact proceedings, and so the judge really needs to know the details surrounding such an action.
That was a shocker, but as you say, is everyone surprised at this point?
In my opinion, this is a terrible thing. We should be, but the more that happens, the more lies that we find out. Many people are just expecting such things to occur, and we shouldn't, which is why many believe it's right that such behaviour is called out and scrutinised. But if you thought it ended there for the time being, then think again, because right behind this shocker of a story came the week's truly most shocking press release. So in what has now become an expected move when the British royal family get enormous positive support from the media, public and celebrities, then the ex-working royals, who are Harry and his wife, blast us with a media campaign. And this week, it's been no different. It also appears that this story has been released by the Sussex PR camp to negate the negative press of our last shocker. Of course, we are all now familiar with Harry's wife's recent PR stunt, the Instagram upload by Harry's polo friend Nacho. This time the public, well, the few Nacho followers, were treated to raspberry jam and dog biscuits. Following the flop of the previous release, we saw that only 2 raspberry jams were in circulation this time. Was it shocking though?
Of course not.
No, and why? Well, because it has become expected every time there is a significant royal event, and this one couldn't have been more significant, as it was not only the trooping of the colour parade for the King's official birthday, but it was the first time that the Princess of Wales had been at an official event since last year. So, cue Harry's wife. But it didn't just end there.
So, there's been more?
Oh, there certainly has. The royal family are busy, and this wasn't the only occasion to send the worldwide media into a buzz, because next came Prince William's birthday and the selfie of the year with none other than his longtime friend Taylor Swift.
Ooh, a Swiftie, a man after my own heart.
Yes, it appears he may indeed be a Swiftie. The world was treated to 2 photographs taken backstage prior to her opening night of her sellout Wembley leg of her era's world tour. Both Kensington Royal and Taylor Swift's social media accounts shared their own photographs of their meeting, and they melted the hearts of royal fans as well as Taylor and Kelsey fans the world over.
Didn't Harry's wife ask Taylor to appear on her podcast?
She did, but got turned down via Taylor's staff.
But they did go and see Beyoncé, didn't they? And twice, as I recall? Possibly due to the bad press the first time around?
Or was she just a super fan? But yes, she went twice.
So, have they shared their Beyoncé selfies from the night now? Is that the shocker?
No, there doesn't appear to be any. But what we've got now, in the absence of any photographs that they can sell to the worldwide media, is Harry being named as the recipient of a prestigious sporting award in America, an EPSI.
Is polo that mainstream now? EPSI are giving awards?
No, possibly worse in my opinion. It's for helping to set up the Invictus Games.
So, is Prince William also being honoured and the other members of their foundation who were instrumental in getting the games off the ground?
Of course not. Apparently the award is just for Harry.
So which award is it?
It's the Pat Tillman Award for Service, and it's to recognise his work as the founder of the Games.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This was a joint venture. I won't take away from him continuing to work with them still. But it took a village, so to speak, to get these games founded. Is our Prince of Mis and Disinformation now taking an award based on the very issue he fights against?
It certainly looks like that from where I'm standing.
Of course not. Not cool, Hazza? Not cool.
No, but what it has done, which is what I assume they wanted, following Prince William's recent global recognition as a friend and fan of Taylor Swift, and the warm embrace he and his children were enveloped in by the millions of Swiftie fans, is given him global attention. Just not in the way they were probably hoping for. and to also try and deflect from the negative press following a recent court date.
So we have a serious backfire in strategy here?
It has been. Multiple media companies, including print media, digital, broadcast channels and even talk shows, all picked up on the story and reporting the backlash that's been building since the news of the award broke.
It's a great award that's meant to be honouring someone who's, put service before personal gain, and it really isn't appropriate for Harry to get it.
Those outside of America who don't know, Pat Tillman was a former NFL player who joined the US Army as a Ranger following the 9/11 attacks. He had a successful career playing for the Arizona Cardinals, but gave it up after 4 seasons and went on to serve combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, giving up a lucrative career. Unfortunately, Pat was killed by friendly fire in the mountains of Afghanistan. His service and then his untimely death were the subject of national attention. This, though, was also due to his cause of death originally being reported to his family and the public as a result of enemy fire. It wasn't until a while later, after Patrick's memorial service, that the Pentagon actually notified the family of the real cause of death. He was killed by his own side due to friendly fire.
The actual circumstance of death had been friendly fire.
Understandably, the news caused dismay and outrage, both within his family and across the country, with many critics, the family including, alleging that the truth had not been disclosed, as the Department of Defense had wanted to protect the image of the American military above justice for Pat. 3 years later, in 2007, the Pentagon released a report ruling his death accidental. He was also posthumously promoted to corporal and received the Silver and Purple Heart medals. The Silver Heart was awarded for gallantry in action while he was serving as rifle team leader in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Tillman put himself in the line of fire and at great risk while manoeuvring his team to a covered position away from an ambush kill zone. The Purple Heart is awarded to members of the US military who are wounded or killed in action. The medal honoured his sacrifice and service. Backlash against the former working royal has intensified over the last few days, and it is not just a debate between pro-Harry supporters and their critics. Yesterday, Patrick's mother spoke out about the decision. Speaking to the Daily Mail, she stated that not only had she not been consulted about the award in her son's name, but that she couldn't understand why it would be given to such a decisive figure when there are far more deserving unsung heroes without money and privilege who would deserve and benefit from the award far more than Harry would. An ESPN sports analyst, Pat McAfee, has also publicly criticised the decision to present Harry with the accolade, telling his viewers on his Friday night show that the decision was asinine and the most embarrassing thing that he'd seen in his entire life.
An award named after him, as there should be in the sports world, because that is somebody who is the definition of selfless. It's going to Prince Harry. Oh. Who I don't even think he's a prince anymore, right? He said, "Don't call me that."
Yeah, he's been excommunicated as well.
Chosen, not. See, why does the SPs do this shit?
The award is given to someone who has committed their whole life to sport and who is the definition of selflessness, questioning why EPSI would do this.
So is he accepting the award?
As of today, it appears he still intends to, although pressure is mounting, and quite significantly, for it to be withdrawn or for Harry to decline it. However, EPSI have doubled down and have explained their reasons why and appear to still be going ahead with it.
I expect there are a lot of people gaining from it, like his agent and the media company.
Yes, you can bet there's multiple stakeholders looking to gain from this. Piers Morgan, I think, sums it up best in his column for the New York Post. At the end of the article, in his summation, Piers shares with the reader why the notion that Harry in any way echoes the legacy of Pat Tillman is a sick joke. Only Tillman's family aren't laughing. He writes, "Tillman once said, 'Somewhere inside we hear a voice. It leads us in the direction of the person we wish to become, but it is up to us whether or not to follow.' Pat's inner voice led him to become a patriotic hero. And Harry's voice? Well, that led him to become a traitor."
Yes, and according to many more than just Piers.
And we'll watch this space to see what Harry decides moving forward.
Well, folks, that's it for today. So if you could do all the good stuff, click those like and subscribe buttons and look out for our next upload.
We'll be back next week with more reactions to the royal news stories and our opinions on them, as well as taking a deep dive into one of the royal patronages.
Thanks for watching and see you again soon. King's Guard, at ease. Fall out.